week 6 on a rainy day here in Los Angeles. We're taping this a few days early because I have to leave for New York City and head to Rochester, which I guess I've been pronouncing wrong. I've been saying Rochester, and people saying it's Rochester, not Rochester, Rochester. So I'll be in Rochester, and so we have to tape this on a Monday, the day after the Golden Globes, which I watched last night. The Golden Globes, where movies this year were okay. I have to say I've seen most of them. I found them to be okay. I wasn't completely blown away by anything. And now when I say this, I know everyone says the Bohemian Rhapsody was very good and Star is Born was very good, and they were very good. I agree. They were very good. But were they great? In 15 years, you're going to look back and go, man, did you see Bohemian Rhapsody? I mean, is it Goodfellas? Is it The Godfather? Is it any of those that we look back on as classics? It's a very good movie. Anyway, it wound up winning Best. Golden Globes cuts it into 2 different categories. It's like a comedy and a drama. So I think that Bohemian Rhapsody won for Best drama, movie, whatever, and Green Book won for Best Comedy. I have not seen Green Book yet, but I did see Bohemian Rhapsody, and Bohemian Rhapsody is excellent. My problem with Bohemian Rhapsody is it gets a little corny at times, but otherwise the guy Rami Malek is fantastic in it, and the music's great. I mean, how can you miss with seeing like recreated Queen concerts on? That was cool, and he was good, and yeah, it was definitely a watchable movie. And Star is Born, same thing. Star is Born's a great movie, but it kind of got snubbed last night. I don't think they won anything, unless I'm mistaken. They certainly didn't win any of the big ones. They didn't win. Bradley Cooper didn't win for actor or director, didn't win for movie. Lady Gaga lost to Glenn Close, who won for a movie called The Wife, which I saw, and she was very good in it. Honestly, I think you should have given it to Lady Gaga because Lady Gaga, I like Lady Gaga, but she seems like she's always about a second away from a complete nervous breakdown. She doesn't seem like she always looks like she's trembling, or on the verge of like really crying a lot, like a full cry breakdown every time I see her. And I don't know. I know she's had some rough things happen in her life, but I don't know what's going on. I think she might be a little bit crazy, and that's nothing. Probably is. I mean, it's not easy to be that huge when you're whatever she was when she first came out, when she had all the stuff hanging from her face and stuff. Back in the days of the meat dress, which I witnessed. I witnessed the meat dress. I was a writer on the MTV Movie Awards. No, it was a movie, Video Music Awards that year. Chelsea Handler was hosting, and I was a writer with Chelsea, and she showed up in the meat dress that year, and I got to witness it firsthand. And I got to witness a lot firsthand that week we were there at the downtown here in Los Angeles, Staples Center. We kind of shot it at, and I got to see a lot of craziness that week. That was the week of Kanye West came back. It was after he had taken the award from Taylor Swift the year before. So everybody was tuned in to see if they were going, what the deal was going to be between the two of them. And this is now, I'm going back a ways. Kanye has gone on to do some much more crazy things than that. So that seems, it seems, lame in comparison to some of the things he's been doing lately. And the same with Taylor Swift. She seems to have gotten beyond.
God, do you remember when they were so normal?
Right, but do you remember? But like Taylor Swift back then was like kind of a little girl who everyone felt bad for, that he got up there and took her award and it was mean to her. But now she seems, she's adult and she can handle her shit. And her songs are a little more, hey, fuck you for leaving me and stuff like that. So, but at that time, she had no sense of humor about it at all. And we were gonna make jokes about it. We thought, why not? I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. He took the award out of her hand. It's not like it was so, but we were not allowed to mention it. We were not allowed to speak to her. Her family would not let us do any type of joke about it at all. Wow. But the other guy, Kanye West, was actually very nice. He's like, came into our dressing room and shook our hands and said, you could talk about anything you want. That's the year he came out. I don't know if you remember, he did that great song with the piano. like you have a toast for the assholes, toast for the douchebag.
For the what was that?
Yeah, it was like I don't know
That
what the name of the song,
album.
but that was a cool tune. And he came out and did that at the end. And anyway, that was the meat dress. I'm sorry I went off. That was the meat dress year, and we got to see the meat dress up front. That's when Jersey Shore was like a big deal. So the Jersey Shore people, we had them like do a sketch with us in the hot tub in the beginning, and I never talked to people who were so like just didn't get anything. You know, they were so shocked that they had been catapulted to stardom so quickly. And this is like the first thing they had done where they were a big deal and everybody was they were like the stars of the show. And so like Eminem was there and Rihanna was there and they were all kind of looking at the Jersey Shore people and they were just like almost, mentally challenged. That one kid, the Mike Sorrentino, the situation, he's like mentally challenged. Mm-hmm. And talking to him and trying to explain to him the joke of the hot tub, whatever, maybe it was good, maybe it was a bad joke, I don't even know, but he did not get what we were trying to do at all. He didn't get like humor and why this was funny, and none of them did. Like Snooki didn't, and Jay Wow, and I didn't even know who the other ones were, but it was a lot to explain to them humor. Anyway, interesting times. Back to Lady Gaga. But doesn't she always seem like she's on the edge of, she does. I think she sings a song called I'm on the Edge of a Broken Heart. Mm-hmm. It should be on the edge of a breakdown because last night they had her sat up front, which I believe they do in the Golden Globes when they think this person's going to win big that night, which everybody did. I think everyone thought Star is Born was going to sweep everything. So it's easier for Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga to walk right up the steps instead of having to walk like some people had to walk. I mean, the one guy made the joke that they were sat in the kitchen, and it almost seemed like that. Like there was one guy, I think he won for that black and white Mexican movie that's on Netflix, and he took 15 minutes to get to the stage, and it's ridiculous because we're watching this as he's shaking hands with everybody on the way up and all this bullshit. Anyway, so they had Lady Gaga sat right up front. And it's also probably good that you could see Lady Gaga constantly. Everyone has to walk past her, and she's a big star, so you want her up front. But she was constantly crying about everybody winning. Glenn Close made a very nice speech. I think everyone thought Lady Gaga was going to win, and she probably should have. Lady Gaga's excellent in A Star Is Born. I've seen A Star Is Born 4 different times with Chris Christopherson, Barbara Streisand, Judy Garland, and it was even one before the Judy Garland one. I forget who was in it. It was like one of the first movies ever made. But so I've seen A Star Is Born. I got it. I know what it's about, but it's very good. It's excellent. He's good. She's good. Everybody's good in it. Bradley Cooper plays a fantastic drunk. He always looks drunk to me anyway, so him playing a drunk is good because he's one of those guys who has like bloodshot eyes always, because I think his eyes are very blue. As a guy with very blue eyes, they could be sensitive more so than regular people's eyes. So we always seem like we're drunk. We're not. Our eyes are just fucking bloodshot because they're sensitive. And Bradley Cooper suffers from that thing that I also suffer from. Anyway, where was I? Back to more Golden Globe stuff. The dresses, I don't know much about it. Everyone said Julia Roberts looked good. She was wearing pants, and she had something like a train stuffed into the pants. So it was almost like a pants and dress together. I don't know if I loved it. I don't really, I'm not all that fashiony, but I don't know if it was great. It was like a half shirt. But it's Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts can get away with anything. Let Julia Roberts do what Julia Roberts does. She still looks amazing, and she's great. And I love Julia Roberts. And at one point, they had her kissing. They caught her on camera kissing Danny Moder at the table they were sitting at. And Us Magazine will have you believe that they are getting divorced every other week. And they've been together now for quite some time. It's been 20 years, I think. So, they're still showing some signs of, they still got some left in the tank. Two old people getting it on, and that's good for them. I'm glad to see that. I don't think she was nominated for anything. She was just there because she's Julia Roberts. Did she even give out an award? I don't think she did. Maybe she was nominated for that show she's got on Amazon or something. But
That's why she didn't go with a dress. She's like, I'm gonna take it easy tonight.
Yeah, a lot of people. There was a guy, Billy Porter, an actor who's on. I actually saw him in a Broadway show called Kinky Boots, but he was in a show called Glam, I think, or something. And he wore a cape last night, and that was a good look. This guy said, "Fuck it, I'm a gay dude, and I'm wearing a cape."
I'm wearing a cape.
He had like
what color was it?
It was. I believe the outside of it was like a tan, like almost like a mauve, I believe is the color. But on the inside, it was purple, like a purple
royalty.
velvet. Oh shit! And he was moving that thing around on the red carpet like a fucking matador. I mean,
Mauve and plum. Ugh.
I'm all for like all those different colors. Like the kid, what's his name? The kid who won for the Versace movie. Who I think he was also in his Darren Criss, I think his name is. He had like a jacket on with all sorts of flowers on it and stuff. I'm all for that because it used to be the years where every guy was just in the same exact, black tuxedo.
Black suit, white shirt.
That's it.
Tie.
It was a tuxedo and everybody looks the same. But now the guys are going a little more crazy jackets and crazy whatever. And I think it looks good. It looks good on, Darren Criss, a handsome guy. I thought he was gay, but he introduced his wife last night after he won. And so that's always shocking to me. It's always fun. I find out in each and every award show I watch, I'm always shocked by that somebody's English that I didn't know was English. And they get up and start making a speech, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't know they were English." And somebody is always either outed as straight or gay to me because I thought Darren Criss was gay, maybe because he plays gay, and that's stupid of me to think that he plays gay and is gay, but he's not. I guess.
Jake Gyllenhaal played gay, and he's totally gay. So
is he gay?
No, I mean,
no. He played gay and he is gay. No, I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal is gay.
No,
is
I made that up.
He's straight. I don't know, but maybe he is gay. Who cares? Anyway, so Darren Criss had a crazy jacket on. It looked good, and some other people did, and but then the Bradley Cooper guy had a full-on white tuxedo on, and the only reason why it didn't look good is because it looked very Colonel Sanders. And I think they were actually doing Kentucky Fried Chicken commercials throughout the show, so it would literally cut from Bradley Cooper in that to who's ever playing Colonel Sanders right now. I believe they've given up on having people play Colonel Sanders.
I was actually just gonna ask who it was.
It's nobody anymore. I think it's just back to like a regular guy. I don't think it's a celebrity anymore. I think the last person who did it creeped everyone out. They had Reba McEntire doing it.
Reba did?
She did. And they had Reba McEntire dressed up as Colonel Sanders, like as a man, and it was creepy. Not that any of them weren't creepy. They were, even Norm Macdonald and whoever else was doing it was kind of creepy. But towards the end, it was Reba McEntire, and I think everyone was like, I won't go to Kentucky Fried Chicken if you're going to show me Reba McEntire dressed as a fucking man. So I will not.
She looks like the Wendy's girl trying to get away.
Yeah, I think they were like losing business on that one. Not anything against Reba McEntire, but she didn't look good as Colonel Sanders. Anyway.
Did you ever see that college skit where John Goodman played Colonel Sanders?
I have. It's like on College Humor.
It's like College Humor, Funny or Die, or one of those. He does an excellent.
I think I have seen
it.
that. Yeah. Well, it was a fun ride when they had everybody, like it was a different comedian, and then it started to become. I think Rob Lowe did it for a minute, and
that's weird.
It was always fun to just figure out who was doing it. But now they've reintroduced. I don't know if you've seen, Kentucky Fried Chicken has reintroduced the big shitty bowls of food. So now they don't need a celebrity endorser anymore because they brought back.
They got quality.
They brought back the mashed potato corn. That's back. It's back.
The gravy mashed potato.
I think it's called the Fuck It Bowl. Just fuck it.
Popcorn chicken.
Everything's on
gravy.
top of it. Yeah. And like we were watching it, like how bad is that for you? Like, is it worse than anything else? Like,
no.
Everything's shitty for you.
At least there's protein and carbs in it, right?
So did you like the Golden Globes? You probably didn't watch.
I didn't see them. No.
But this goes out to people who are listening who contact me. And like I said, you can contact me on the Facebook page that we have, cover to cover Facebook page, and and Instagram. Get to me on Instagram. Write me on Instagram, and I'll answer everybody on Instagram. And I'll do videos for you. People are asking me to do videos like they do on Patreon, not Patreon. What's the thing? Cameo. Cameo. Cameo is the thing that people are asking me to get on, where you pay me $10, $20, whatever, and I will make a private message for you. Say it's your birthday, and I'll go, "Hey, Susie, happy birthday." Now, I'm sure this is exciting if you're somebody like a big time star and you send to your husband or wife, be like Tommy Lee from Motley Crue saying happy birthday. That's probably exciting. Getting it from me, I think it would be very disappointing. Like, I think if you sent your husband or wife, hey, honey, look what I got you, a message from Chris Franjola, I think they'd be like, who? That's not. So what I'll do is I'll circumvent Cameo. Actually, the guy from Cameo, the owner of Cameo, emails me all the time, and he's a very nice guy, and he always asks me to join. He says, please join Cameo. And I don't think anybody would pay any money to get me to do a video. But then on the Juicy Scoop website, you guys went and said, would you pay to get Chris Franjola to do a video? And 120 people said yes, they would. I don't believe any of you. You're all lying. There's not one of you who would spend $10. So what I'll do is, if you want me to make you a video of anything, except for like, don't make me say racist shit, unless you pay me a good price. If you pay me the right amount of money, I will say racist shit.
If it's viral worthy,
yes.
Pony up.
But don't make me say anything that, because I know some people got in trouble on Cameo because they like these white supremacist groups were hiring people, and they have like a code words they use that these people didn't know. These assholes will just cash the $50 check.
Yeah.
I forget who got busted on it. It was Brett Favre, the quarterback, and some other people.
No, he knew.
Yes, and they were just like reading what the script they were given, and it was I guess there was some white supremacist buzzwords in there, and they got in trouble for it. So don't do any of that to me. But if you write me on Instagram and ask me to make you a video, I will make you a video on Instagram. That's the only way I'm going to do it, and then you could show it to people on Instagram. Don't tell me to turn the camera sideways and download some other app to make a video. But for the price of here's where $4. You have to send it to my Venmo. It's an easy way to send it. You send me $4 to my Venmo, and somebody actually did this. I was half kidding, but when I got it, it was actually wonderful. You need to send me a $5 Subway gift card. Okay, that's a Subway gift card, $5. You could make it 10, you could make it 20, but the least you could do is 5. And someone sent it to my home address, which is 6533 Rubio Avenue, Van Nuys, California, 91406.
How bad do you need Subway money?
I don't, but I think it's fucking funny. I want to get something out of this deal. Like, I'm not charging any money for this podcast. I'm not on the extra thing, thing that people get money for and give you more,
Patreon.
Yeah. I'm not on that. I'm not asking you people for a dime. If you need me to make you a video for whatever, your dog's birthday, your husband's birthday, your birthday, you need a cheering up in the morning, send me $4 and I will make you a 30-second to a minute long video on Instagram saying exactly that. Back to the golden.
What if they come to see you at a show? Mm-hmm. If they come see you live, you got a discount on that $4
Listen,
rate?
If people come see me live, anybody who's seen me live can attest to this. I am the friendliest, nicest guy in the world, because why not? I'm in a city, I don't know anybody. Hanging out with the people in the city to me is actually fun. Otherwise, I go back to my hotel and do nothing or sit in a bar by myself, which sometimes is fine. But when people come up to me after a show and say, let's go here, let's go there, or go here, go there, they've never steered me wrong. They always show me a good time and a good spot. So yeah, I'm all about taking pictures after shows, and I don't charge a penny for that either. All free. Come and take pictures, hang out, but make sure the picture's good. I know some of you don't know how to use a camera, and not only you guys know how to, like the people know how to use a camera, but they give it to their husband or somebody else who has no clue how to use a camera. And it's a terrible picture. And then they go and post it online and tag me. And I have to look at a horrible picture of myself. So we have to make sure the picture is good. And I will ask, I will say, I will need to look at that before that's posted to the public. As a matter of fact, Jennifer Smith, who runs the Facebook page for this Cover to Cover podcast, she wrote, hey, if anyone's seen Chris Franjola, post your pictures of where you've seen him. And people did. And there's about 50 pictures on there. Some of them are good. I went through a little bit of a fat phase last summer. Like if I put on 10 pounds, I look like I've given up on life. And I wore a purple sweater, V-neck sweater with no shirt underneath, no t-shirt underneath. It was in Irvine, California. It was with the Juicy Scoop live with Heather and myself. And it was a bad choice. I look at the pictures now and I realized that was a bad choice. I thought it was a good look until I saw it in pictures. You could see my nipples through the shirt, which is not bad. And for women, that's a good look. For a man, seeing nipples through the shirt,
It's a little.
It's not, and especially it was a purple. It was like a.
If it's a soft shirt,
It was,
hard nipples.
it was a
it's-
lavender. It was a lavender V-neck sweater, and you saw my nipple. And so I apologize for that one. Not a good idea. Otherwise, everybody posted very nice pictures, and we'll do it again in Rochester, New York, and in all the other places I'm going this year, which is a ton. So please come out. And now let's get back to enough talking about
Golden
stand-up.
Globes.
Back to Golden Globes. It was boring, I think, because I blame everybody. Now, I don't know if anybody's really offended. We all keep saying, oh, jokes are dead. You can't say anything anymore. True. That may be true. But it's not what Kevin Hart said. And I know Kevin Hart recently went back on Ellen, and they had like an hour-long interview on Ellen. And Ellen basically said, you should host the Oscars again. And now there's this whole new campaign of the Oscars maybe taking him back. They're like, if he apologizes for saying what he said in the tweets that he said, we'll take him back. He really has not apologized yet. He keeps saying, I addressed this, and that's all I'm doing. Addressed it. What the hell does that mean? You just mentioned it? Like that doesn't... You didn't apologize for it. I'm not saying you have to apologize for it, but if you're not going to apologize for it, then you don't host the Oscars. And I don't really know why the guy wants to host the Oscars that bad. He's the biggest star in the world. The Oscars will get you nothing. You're only going to get shit on. Even if you do a great fucking job, it's going to be shitty because people are already angry at you for the old tweets and whatever else. So there's no upside to Kevin Hart hosting the Oscars. Let somebody else do it. Let the guy, and I'm not kidding here, let the dude from, I know he's never been in movies, maybe he has, but let RuPaul from RuPaul's Drag Race host the Oscars. And I'm not kidding. I think the guy's professional. I think he's good. I think he'd be very funny. And it's a gay thing. Like the Oscars are for gay people to watch and enjoy. Like if straight people watch the Oscars, they watch it because they like the movies that are, but for the most part, it's a gay Super Bowl.
The antics, the clothing,
all of it is fun, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it is like I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm like it's fun. I love award shows. I used to as a kid like really love them. I don't know. It was a cause of concern for my parents when I was like really excited about the Oscars, but I used to love it. I used to watch it and be into it. Now I watch them and it's kind of corny. They are so corny watching people really get bent out of shape about a movie. Like Glenn Close, who's been in the business a very long time and done some great work over the years. You have to figure at this point she can keep her shit together. When she's won hundreds of awards, she's been nominated. She's been to many. She's been celebrated her whole life. She got up there last night. And I know it's probably an emotional time for people because they think about their mother or their parents or, it's been a long road for a lot of these people. But she breaks down and made a very good speech, but she had like a full on, kind of crying fit on stage. And I'm almost like, oh, really? Still, Glenn Close? You're still feeling this way about award shows? Like this just means nothing to Glenn Close. You've had your career. You don't need to apologize to anyone. You've done it. You're probably not going to get better than Fatal Attraction and all the other great shit you've done over the years. So at this point, just relax. You got this. If you're 21 and win the Oscar, I can understand maybe losing your shit because you're new to this game.
You're peaking early.
Right. But if you're 50, 60, 70 and you win an Oscar or a Golden Globe, just try and keep your shit together and just make a nice speech. And now I feel bad because Glenn Close did make a nice speech, but she was getting emotional, and I don't know why people get emotional about it. You're nominated. You've been nominated for 6 months. These nominations came out, whatever, not 6 months, but a couple of months ago. You've had plenty of time to think about, hey, there's a chance I might win this thing. You're in the top 5. There's only 5 people nominated. You could be one of them. So you have now 2 months to go
to wrap your head.
This could be right. Exactly. Wrap it. Like I might. Like when these people get up, like I had no idea. I had no idea. You know who should be fucking shocked if they win an Oscar or a Golden Globe? My father. If they ever open the envelope, go and the winner is Gene Franjola, and my father got up there completely baffled. It's because he's never been in a movie. He doesn't even know where the Golden Globes are. He couldn't even get to the venue. He has never seen a movie, and so if they say he's the winner, he'd be shocked, and I understand that. He'd get up there and go, I don't know who these people are.
Would he cry?
No, never. He would ask where the bathroom is, and then he would ask if there's proper parking he needs his validated ticket. Did people validate the tickets, please? And then he would leave. So that if my father ever wins, he has my permission to be shocked because he's not in the show business. He's not in show business.
He's probably sitting even further back, like behind the kitchen this time. It's going to take him 20 minutes to get up there.
And so let's go back to what I was saying about people being offended. So the opening monologue is Andy Samberg and Sandra Oh. Both were fine. I mean, I like Sandra Oh. I've liked her in things, and I think Andy Samberg's very funny. They couldn't do anything. They were completely handcuffed to making fun of anybody or making fun of anything, and which is it's kind of fun. The Oscars when it is like Ricky Gervais just ripping on everything,
ripping on people.
But so they went up there and basically did. We're gonna roast people now. This was their opening monologue. But roast them in a positive way. Like, hey, Spike Lee, what's your deal? You make great movies, and we can't wait to see them all. That's one. Then they pick another person. And this went on about 4 people too long. We're like, oh, no, we understand the bit. You're going to do positive roasting. We got the bit. 3 more people, they're still going. Okay, we got it. We got the bit. Then they were doing things like they were doing what we call in the comedy business like a left turn. So they were saying next person to give out an award was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Maybe you've seen him courtside at a Laker game. So you think, here comes Jack Nicholson. And it's not Jack Nicholson. It's whoever. Yeah. And you're like, well, is that what we're doing? We're goofing on, we're pretending this is somebody else, but it's not. They did that about 3 times too many. Then the new thing that everyone has to do because of Ellen a couple of years ago doing the pizza bit at the Oscars when she had somebody deliver a pizza, which was a good bit. Now they have to bring a bunch of people out to give the audience something. They decided we're going to give flu shots. I'm sure they weren't real flu shots, but they were like, everybody now gets a flu shot. So out come a bunch of actors and you're dressed like doctors. And they are trying to give Willem Dafoe a flu shot. And now what you realize when you watch the Golden Globes or any of these is how humorless many of these actors are and actresses are. They don't get jokes at all. Like, I feel so bad for the people who host these shows because they always pan to Alan Arkin in the audience, who's just completely stone-faced. Either he can't hear, or he doesn't get jokes, or he doesn't give a shit about jokes, or he doesn't give a shit about Andy Samberg, but he's stone-faced. They've got a couple of the directors they show are stone-faced. Now they're out there trying to give them flu shots, and now they're including them in the bit, which I hate. Like a lot of Broadway shows are doing that now. I go to a lot of Broadway, and maybe they stopped a little this year, but there was a couple of years where Broadway was going to include the audience in the bit. Cats, I believe, was the one who started it. The cats would crawl into the audience, and now they're crawling on top of you, and you got, some actor who's had the same cat suit on for, the last 9 months. Now his balls are in your face because you got a really good seat to cats. And so every show was doing this. I would see Hair a couple of years ago on Broadway, and they come into the audience, and now you got to get up and dance. Like, no. I paid my $170 for this seat, so you entertain me. I don't want to be in Hair. You do it. But so now they're doing a lot of it at the award shows where you got to be a part of the bit. So now Willem Dafoe is going to get a flu shot. But Willem Dafoe don't want to be a part of this.
Was he nominated for anything?
Yeah, he was. He was nominated for something. But he's right up front, and now Willem Dafoe is in the flu shot bit. Some kid who got a day's work playing a doctor is going to administer a flu shot to Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe's got to pretend like this is fun, and he's not into it. And now they cut quickly away from Willem Dafoe and show a few other people. Nobody's into this bit. It's not working, and that happens in comedy. Bits fucking fall flat, and this one fell flat. Move on, but you don't have to bring down Willem Dafoe. He didn't ask to be in this shit. And so that was one that fell flat, as did most of the jokes, I think. All in all, this morning I'm reading the best part of the Golden Globes was the woman on the red carpet before the show began, who, I guess there's a woman who stands behind everyone with water. She's got like Evian water on a tray. And so if anybody chooses to grab water on their way up the red carpet, if they're thirsty, they can take it off this woman's tray. She's basically like a model hired for the day. She decides to make faces behind everybody on the red carpet. She's making faces. So she's basically, what do they call it? Photo bombing everybody down the red carpet, and becomes kind of famous for it. Twitter's blowing up. This woman's photo bombing. Look at her funny photo bombs. And now she's all over the paper. So this morning, they're like, the best part of the Golden Globes was the woman photo bombing. Like, it's got to be a pretty fucking boring show. Year. Yeah. If the best thing you could find was this girl photo bombing people, the Evian girl, photo bombing people on the way up. So all in all, then I went and turned on the after show. I went to E! Entertainment Television, my old boss for many, many years. So I do have a soft spot in my heart because E! Paid my rent for about 11 years. And I had a very good time over at E! E! Was good to me. I don't know what goes on over at E! Entertainment Television anymore. I don't really turn it on. So I turned it on last night to see the wrap up, people going to the parties and things like that. I didn't see any of it because it was Busy Phillips. Busy Phillips was doing an after show with Whitney Cummings and a couple of other comedians. Rhea Butcher, poor Rhea Butcher, couldn't get a word in edgewise, and she's a very good comedian, but she's not one of those ones who screams and yells, and so she's just sitting there going, what the fuck did I get myself into? I don't know Busy Phillips. I don't know anything about her. I know some people love her because she says outrageous things about her kids and how they, poop their pants or whatever. These are the things that people find funny on Instagram. So because of her Instagram success, I guess she has gotten a show now on E! Called Busy Tonight. She was doing the wrap-up show of the Oscars with her and Whitney and two other gay, loud gay guys. But basically TV has become, I don't know if you've noticed, TV has become 6 people on screen at all times. It's got to be 6 people screaming, whether it be politically screaming on MSNBC or CNN or Fox News, they're screaming. And then you go to the entertainment channels, the E's and all those, and it's just gay guys and women screaming about fashion. But everyone's screaming over each other. And we did it a little bit on Chelsea lately. Admittedly, we screamed over each other too. But I think it was more entertaining just because I was a part of it. Anyway, it was a lot of gay guys screaming about dresses and things like that, and who was good and who was bad. And Busy Phillips is annoying as shit. Some of the things she was saying, I know you guys love her, but she's annoying as shit. I don't know who she is. I know she was in Dawson's Creek, I think, or some shit. But I found her to be annoying. I found that show to be annoying. And I know it's supposed to be like, shit's just annoying these days. Everyone's screaming about the Oscars or the Golden Globes is annoying. She was a little bit annoying. Some of the stuff she was saying was funny, I'll grant you, but they had like people laughing off camera at everything she said. And I know they're on the payroll, so they gotta laugh really loud at everything she's saying. So they're like fucking going insane laughing at this. And it's just, I mean, I was gonna shoot the television. But then I'm thinking to myself, am I just an old curmudgeon? Like, am I just like, this is probably entertaining for some people. Maybe I shouldn't be mad at Busy Phillips because maybe she's good at this. Because we did it one year. I don't want to mention any names, but they asked us to do the wrap-up show for the Oscars. I think it was me, Brad Wallach, Sarah Colonna, and Heather McDonald. They asked us to do the wrap-up show and kind of talk about the fashions. And this is when Chelsea Lately was at its hottest, so they figured, people will be in love with these 4 doing fashion commentary. But we all got real drunk throughout the Oscars while watching it, and then they cut to us in some hotel across the street from where they shoot the Oscars 3 hours later, and we couldn't even function. Brad had taken some pills earlier that day because he had a back issue. And then he drank on top of those pills, and he looked like Heath Ledger toward the end. I mean, it looked like he wasn't going to make it that night. He was so fucking like slurring his words and out of it. And it was a bad situation. And we ruined it. They basically said, never again will we have those guys do it because they can't handle themselves. And we couldn't. We were bad. So I hope somebody could find it. If you people out there could find this somewhere, I don't think you can, but if you do, it's painful.
And you guys did it on E?
On E, live, across the hall from where the Oscars were, in a hotel room. I think Jason Kennedy was with us, who's such a nice guy, and the poor guy had to sit and put up with us as we were screaming and yelling and making no sense and on pills and drunk and everything else. That was the Golden Globes. So that's it. On the Golden Globes, congratulations to Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody, Green Book, which is another movie. Every year we have a movie comes out about a white guy being nice to a black person in the 40s and 50s, and that always gets Oscar buzz or award buzz anytime we do a movie about a white guy. Because in the 40s and 50s, we were just horribly shitty to not only black people, everybody. White people were just shitty to everybody. But I'm sure there are stories about one person being nice and driving somebody to a gig, and they make a movie about it, and we all celebrate it because, hey, there was a time, I know we've been shitty to a lot of people, but there was a time where we were nice to one flute player in the South, and so give us an award for it, because Viggo Mortensen, it was really good in the Green Book, which I believe Sebastian Maniscalco, comedian, is in that movie.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So that's that. What else did I want to talk about? As I'm coming here, I read about this girl. Now, here's a story that now when I say I'm going to do cover to cover, we really want to do cover to cover. I know everybody writes me on these things and says, you need to do more Juicy Scoop topics. And I'm like, well, you have Juicy Scoop for that. Why do I need to do Juicy Scoop topics when you have Juicy Scoop? Why do you need the same fucking thing twice in a row? It's just listen to both. So there was this girl who, now let me look up her name, because this is going to, well, first of all, now this goes to show you how, I know this is the year, even during the Golden Globes, it was like women were standing up still and going, fuck men, fuck men, fuck men, fuck men, which, would have been entertaining in the Golden Globes if somebody, like as a prank, took Harvey Weinstein across the street from where they shoot the Golden Globes, which I don't know where it is. I think they do it at the Kodak Theater or whatever on Hollywood Boulevard. Take Harvey Weinstein over to Hooters, which is right across the street. Didn't you do your comedy show out of that place? Okay. Yeah. You get him fucking hammered. You tell Harvey, you drink 5 pitchers of Bud Light.
It's on us.
Spin him around a couple times and say, you now go into the Golden Globes and just start fucking walk in there and tell these motherfuckers, go, listen, remember me? Remember you kissing my ass 2 years ago? I was the greatest fucking guy in Hollywood. Remember Pulp Fiction? Remember
he's the new Kanye West.
Yeah, like that would be entertaining. Like some guy who does pranks, like Sacha Baron Cohen. Like have him as your date for the Golden Globes.
Doing one of his This Is America characters?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Bring Harvey Weinstein as your date to the Golden Globes, drunk, and have him get up on stage and start screaming about how dare you.
You got to be brave to go on a drunken date with Harvey Weinstein.
You know what? But I'm not a prank guy, but I think I would do it. Just to have him get up there and say, you fuckers were kissing my ass 2 years ago. Meryl Streep, not saying anything Harvey Weinstein did was wrong. I'm glad Harvey Weinstein's gone. But 2 years ago, Meryl Streep called him God in a speech. And so let's all fucking relax about it. So I want him to get up there and go nuts, Harvey Weinstein. Where was I?
If you want that, though, I hear it's like $7 on Cameo. He'll say whatever you want now.
Really?
No,
well,
I made that.
I'll do it for 4, you motherfuckers. Not on Cameo, on Instagram. Anyway, there's 2 stories that came out in the last week about men still being horribly shitty. There's a woman who has been in a coma for 10 years in Phoenix, Arizona. She's been in a coma for 10 years. Last week, she gave birth to a baby. She's been in a coma for 10 years, and still in a coma, she had a child. So that means that now the police are investigating it in Phoenix. That means somebody, while this poor woman was in a coma, whether it be somebody who worked in that hospital or somebody who visits her or somebody, fucked this woman in a coma and impregnated her, and now she has a child in a coma. That's how fucked up men are. This poor woman figures probably, I don't know what is going on in her head in her coma, but the one thing she's probably like, hey, you know what? I'm at peace. I'm at peace in life. Nobody's fucking with me. I'm warm under these blankets. I'm sitting here for 10 years. Who knows what goes on in people's heads during a coma? But she's probably thinking, at least nobody's fucking me over. And then some fucking male nurse hops on top of her while the poor woman is in a coma and bucks her, and now it's being investigated because she just gave birth to a baby while she was in a coma. First of all, I didn't even know that was possible.
Can you imagine waking up from that coma now?
Well, I mean, she's been in it for 10 years, so I don't even know if she can wake up from the coma at this point. But, I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Then, thank God, I just read the story. It just happened now, like breaking news, that they let this woman off who now here it is. Tennessee governor commutes this Cyntoia Brown's life sentence. Okay, this is a woman, Cyntoia Brown. Yeah. Maybe you've heard the story. She was 16 years old. She's had a horrible life. Her mother was fetal alcohol syndrome, which the mother drank heavily during the pregnancy with this girl. So she's already, got that against her. Now, all these fucking perverts, I guess they can tell, they could sniff out people who are in need of, just comforting or whatever. So these sex traffickers and all that shit find this girl at 16 and they sex traffic her. She's got a pimp, like a full-on pimp. Like, I didn't even know pimps existed anymore. I thought they went out with that one guy who was in like that bad pimp who was in Crocodile Dundee. Remember Crocodile Dundee would do like back in the 80s, pimps were, basically characters in all bad 80s movies, but they were like fun, lovable pimps, with big wide brim hats on,
weird
and purple suits, and they would be like, almost like fun pimps. But pimps in real life, I guess, this guy's name was Cutthroat, her pimp, which is bad. That's a bad name for a pimp, because that tells you right up front, this is my MO. Like, you fuck with me, I cut your throat. Cut with a K, by the way. Not anytime I go, sometimes when I'm on the road, I need a haircut. And a lot of the haircut places, they will spell haircut with a K. And I'm like, oh, they don't cut my kind of hair, right?
They don't cut.
Anytime it's like crazy cuts with a K, like a K crazy, and cuts is K with a K, that means they don't, I'm asking.
Yeah,
that's not for white guy hair, right?
To my knowledge, okay. I mean, they'll know how to work with it, but that's not their bread and butter.
Right, it's not their bread and butter. Like if they spell cuts with a K or a Z at the end, or they do it both, then this guy's name is Cutthroat with a K. He's the pimp. Okay, they take this poor girl at 16 years old. Cutthroat is her pimp. He's sending around this world. Just one fucking dude's like 43 years old. His name's Johnny Allen in 2004. He basically buys this poor 16-year-old girl as a sex slave. He buys her. So this fucking girl eventually, who's had a horrible life, had a fetal alcohol mother, been fucking pushed around by Cutthroat. And thank you, Alex. So we're not laughing. We're not laughing at this situation. We're laughing at Cutthroat and the fact that Alex had to remind me that his name was Cutthroat. Now that is shitty enough. So this girl finally one day says, you know what? Fuck this. This dude's sleeping, the guy who's 43-year-old guy who's been raping her at 16, and she fucking blows his brains out while he's sleeping, steals his wallet, and leaves the house. They put her in jail for life. Life in prison this poor girl gets at 16 years old. Mm-hmm. They try her as an adult, which they probably shouldn't have. And she probably
doesn't have the mental or emotional capability of a 7-year-old.
Exactly. Yeah. She's been trying adult, and now she's in jail for life because they said it was premeditated. Well, of course it was fucking premeditated.
Yeah, it was 16 years.
So she's now 30 years old. She's been in jail for 15 or 16 years, pretty much her entire adult life. Jesus. And they have just pardoned her sentence. I believe they commuted her sentence, which I don't know what her life sentence. So that I think that means she's now able to get out. A lot of celebrities have jumped on her side. Amy Schumer and Rihanna and Kim Kardashian have all been fighting to get her released. So today they have commuted her sentence. whatever. I think that means, I don't know if people are legal people. Does that mean she's able to get out?
I believe commuted is where they kind of like, they just say you served it all. Pardon is where someone steps in and says you don't have to serve it.
Okay.
Commute, I think, is where they say, all right.
But does she still have to stay in jail?
I believe she gets out.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. If she gets out, thank God. That is great. Finally, some good news in the world that this poor girl who's been through fucking hell in her life doesn't have to serve in jail anymore. I hope she gets out and goes on to have a good, happy life, and she starts listening to the Cover podcast, because
I hope Amy and Schumer and Kim Kardashian, everyone can pony up a little bit, because
I think they will. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I mean, I think they're good people. I know Amy a little bit, and hopefully they can, because it sucks that this girl had to go through that. And I know there's many people who probably are in situations like that. So at least one of them has gotten her comeuppance and was able to, kill this fucking guy who did that to her. Anyway, I think it's a fantastic story, and I'm happy that she's out, or maybe out. I don't know.
So is Cutthroat in jail now?
I don't know what Cutthroat situation is. It doesn't really give you much about Cutthroat other than, I don't know if he's going to cut my hair anytime soon. I don't know anything about Cutthroat other than...
He might be a barber too, actually.
He probably could be, because I think pimping's kind of, now with the internet, I think pimping's kind of gone the way of like coal mining and some other jobs. I think it's more difficult because you can simply just go online to find, on Craigslist to find hookers. You don't need a pimp anymore. So anyway, there's that. She's out. And I think that's great. And I hope that the poor woman who's had the baby in a coma comes out of that coma and goes on to raise this child and keeps this kid away from Cutthroat. I hope this kid now is going to fall into the hands of Cutthroat, because that's going to be a kid who's vulnerable to child sex trafficking.
Yeah, it's going to be
There's a lot of posters.
I mean, that's an interest. Like, who raises that? Who,
that probably just goes through the foster system or something.
Yeah, that's not the best way to start either, though. But I guess when you're a newborn, that's in foster, it's better. But
anyway, I hope everyone's off to a good 2019 so far. This was an okay episode. I wasn't 100% focused. I'd like to be more focused, but I was a little Golden Globed. I felt like the Golden Globes were. I'll talk about the R. Kelly thing. I know people have been asking me to talk about the R. Kelly documentary on, I think it's on Lifetime or A&E, called "Surviving R. Kelly." It's a bad situation. Another guy.
That's what they call listening to the full Trapped in the Closet, right? Well, surviving R. Kelly.
Anytime there's a TV show made about you and the word "surviving" comes before your name, it's probably not a good situation. Yeah, like you're never going to see "Surviving Tom Hanks." I think "Surviving R. Kelly" is a bad situation. I haven't even watched. I saw some clips, and it's just people talking about how's this guy still? First of all, I don't even know how he's still relevant. Like he's had like a few hits a long time ago.
Long time ago.
I know. I don't. That's why I was always kind of shocked by Michael Jackson many years ago. I remember when Michael Jackson, when I know Michael Jackson was Beat It, and in the 80s with Off the Wall and Thriller, when it was he was unbelievable. But then years later, he had kind of had stopped kind of having big hits, and all these parents were like letting the kids stay over his house, young kids, 5, 6 years old. I'm like, what 5, 6-year-old gives a shit about Michael Jackson? He hasn't had a hit in 20 years. Like, that's so strange to me that they're even into Michael Jackson.
I think they're more into cotton candy and theme parks.
Yeah, right. But that's why he had it, I guess. So anyway, I feel that same way about. So I do a little research on R. Kelly, and I see a video pops up where he's doing a concert somewhere, and I guess people are still going to his concerts. It seems like overweight black women in the front row, like going fucking crazy for this R. Kelly, and he comes out and he's like gyrating in front of their faces. And and they have one girl's got a towel. You should see this video. If you find this video, put it on the Facebook page. He's got a towel, and the woman is commanding him what to do. She's like, he's commanding the women, like, wipe my brow. And then the woman wipes his brow. And then he goes, wipe my wrist. And the woman wipes his wrist. Right? And this is like a lot of hands of reaching up and grabbing his balls and his everything. And he's just telling him to wipe and then he goes, wipe my tongue. And he sticks out his tongue. And the woman starts wiping his tongue, like the actual, like fucking, like the bed of his tongue with a towel. And these women are freaking the fuck out over R. Kelly, who hasn't had a hit The only hit I really know is I Believe I Could Fly and Ignition. Popping fresh out the kitchen, mama, who got it rolling.
Rolling that body, got every man in here wishing.
But that was 20 years ago. Sipping on Coke and rum. So then I look up another song that he released about a year ago, 18 minutes, where he just talks about his life to a beat. Like basically just saying, today I went to 7-Eleven. And then I was touched by my uncle when I was a child. That's why I am who I am. This goes on for 18 minutes. He just talks about his whole life. So that's what R. Kelly's up to. And I haven't watched Surviving R. Kelly yet, but I know the story. I know that he's been shitty to women and picked up girls in Chicago and peed on them and stuff like that. So
I'll let you know, if you just Google R. Kelly towel, the first result.
Oh, you've seen the video?
I just did it just now. It took less than a second to get a 2-minute clip.
Everybody watch this. Watch the women wiping him down.
It's there. It is R. Kelly lets fan wipe his balls live on stage, and it's just literally
she's wiping his balls. She wipes everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she wipes, and that's another thing that goes back to what I was saying earlier about having me be a part of the show. If I'm just in the audience, and you're the performer, don't ask me to wipe your balls. Like I came here to just watch you perform. I don't need now to wipe your tongue and your balls.
I think if you're at the front row of an R. Kelly concert, you're only there to wipe some balls.
If there's ever a time where I wound up in the front row of an R. Kelly concert, I've fucked up. I probably went and got my hair cut at Cuts with a K and a Z, and then I won at that place as I was praying. I said, "Thank you very much." They said, "I want to go see R. Kelly tonight," and they gave me 2 tickets, and then I wound up at an R. Kelly concert. That's the only way that would happen.
You slide Cutthroat a $5 for the.
I love you
lineup.
all. Thank you, Alex. I'm sorry you didn't get to talk much today because we just Golden Globed it, and you didn't really watch.
I got to start following pop culture now.
You don't. But just a little bit of it. I mean, what the big stories, like did you see any movies this year?
Yeah, I saw. Well, so we talked about on the first episode of Star Is Born. I think I saw it like 3 days after that. I'm gonna say Sam Elliott, mustache of the year. I don't know if he won it, but he should have.
Yes, I mean, Sam Elliott's always had a good
beautiful mustache.
Yeah, he does have a good. Anyway, that's Alex doing his jokes. See, that's why we got to taper Alex down, because he's got bits that he's in his back pocket. He's been dying to do that mustache joke for 3 fucking weeks now.
Yeah,
and we teed it up for him, and he fucking released it. He's like, "Dad, here comes my mustache joke
for your consideration." This mustache.
There it is. So I'm glad you got that out. You feel better?
I feel great now.
Good. Alex is a good man. That's it, everybody. Thanks for listening to this one. Let's go out there and have some fun. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We basically just wrapped up the